is just post-match opinion and thought on the Man United and Crystal Palace game. So I'm no expert, but I do support United, and from the looks of their performance in the game, it was pretty poor. You know, there was a lot of standing around at times, not really making enough runs. There wasn't really much aggressiveness or push to try and get into open space or so. You know, actually did well, to be fair, I did see a little glimpse of it, and that was right towards the end when Van der Beek was playing, how he was passing around back and forth. It was quite aggressive, fast-paced passing, but it didn't last. It was only for a few minutes and then it went back to normal again. And obviously towards the end with Palace's, you know, doubling down on the defence and really parking the bus, if you want to call it like that, United didn't have much chance. But throughout basically the whole match, it was pretty flat. The way United was performing, like I said, there wasn't the aggressiveness or energy to actually do well. Now, the actual players that were playing, was it Fuza Menza? That's how you say his name. I've not really seen him play before. Why is he playing? Yeah, McTominay, was he playing as a CDM, I think? Why is he playing in that position? You know, I've seen him play a more attacking role before, and like in the past when he's played a few games and he's managed to score, you know, he's not played as a CDM, so why is he playing this time? I think that was mainly just because of Matic not playing or unable to play, so they had to fit someone there to maybe fill in the formation, but I don't think that went well. In terms of the actual subs made, I think they were made a bit too late, and did they use all the subs up, or did he only use two? I know Greenwood came on. I didn't even really see much from him when he came on. He seemed quite quiet. And Van der Beek, you know, he didn't get enough game time. He should have come on much earlier. Probably should have replaced McTominay. You know, both may not be exactly defensive players, but I think Van der Beek is just a better overall player, and especially attacking and with passing, because I saw that towards the very end of the United match, the way Van der Beek was passing, he was doing the odd few back heel passes and showing a bit of flair, you know, so it showed he had the confidence to actually, you know, fight against Palace and try and fight back and do something. And, you know, in a way he did, because he managed to get a goal, so that was good. But aside from that, most of it was flat. Look at that close chance by Palace where, it was a corner kick, Palace cleared it, did that long ball, Maguire was running after it, he decided to give it a head, the big brick wall decided to head it, you know, back to the goalie. Zaha, running, sprinting, overtakes Maguire, gets a hold of the ball, but luckily De Gea manages just to, you know, kick it off him. But that was a very close one. In terms of the penalties, or the potential penalty and the penalty, that was a little bit dodgy. Now, I can't quite remember the first one, how it was decided. I don't know about the contact, so I can't really comment about that. In terms of the second one, though, I don't know if it was an actual penalty. I know it's done for handball and stuff, but if the person's running, obviously they've got to use the hands to run, and it just unfortunately took the person's hand. Now at the end of the day, the ultimate question is, to avoid, you know, conceding a penalty, where do you put your hands? I don't mean like that, but where do you put your hands? You put them behind your back or so, maybe. It makes sense, but I guess if you're running back and you're not actually looking, you just want to get to the position to defend as soon as possible, and the ball comes in at the same time, you might not have enough time to actually react and move your hands out of the way. I guess it was a bit dodgy how they had to retake it, but then again, it's understandable because, you know, the goalie, I think, moved off the line a bit too quick. But aside from that, he still did a good save, regardless of whether it was a penalty or not, for that chance taken. You know, I think very early on, De Gea managed to do a good save early on, so he seems to be a bit better now, at least compared to how he was performing not long ago in certain matches. Who would I say was the best player on the pitch? I don't know. It probably is between Van der Beek and Bruno. Now, Van der Beek, you'd probably say, was one of the better ones because he was the one that got a goal back and he managed to do some decent passes. But a short amount of time he actually played, he probably had more impact compared to the rest of the team, even combined for the most part of it. Now, Bruno, I'd still say he did all right. You know, he still participated in the set pieces, even though not much came out of it. I think he, 3 shots or something, but none of them were on target, I don't think. What was it, 86, 87% pass accuracy. So yeah. And I think Bruno, he's that sort of player which performs well if the rest of the team players, you know, put the effort in as well. Because you've seen Bruno, quite a few of the goals he's got are either from penalties or maybe the odd free kick. And he is good at assisting. But to assist and to get an assist, you need another player to be able to make a run, get in position and be the scorer. And in this case, that wasn't really possible, because if you look at Palace, the way they were defending, double teaming and really, you know, digging deep, every time I kept seeing United try and kick the ball or try and shoot, it just kept getting blocked immediately. And I think Rashford, the way he was making touches on the ball, he was waffling around too much, too many touches on the ball. And then once he finally turned or got ready to kick, there was already a player there to block it. So yeah. So overall, it's a bit messy, to be honest. Now, yeah, it's the first match for United, so you could use that as a factor. But United, compared to some other teams, you know, they should have done something, because season just gone, you know, they were doing all right towards the end, aside from penalties, I know, but they seemed like they were doing okay. It almost looked like they were, you know, getting somewhere, and then obviously they've hit the reset immediately now. Now, the funny thing is, looking at the possession of the game, I don't know if it was fake or something, but from looking at it, it said, 76 possession to United and 20 to Palace. To be honest, I think that's... How can it be? Because all I kept seeing was United kept passing, and then Crystal Palace would intercept it, or it would bounce off and deflect, and then Palace would constantly make runs. It didn't seem like United was in possession for the most part of it. It didn't feel like that. Maybe that's just my opinion, obviously. So, yeah. And regarding fantasy football, I did bring in Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, you could say that was a mistake, but we'll have to see how Son performs. If Son performs the same, it wasn't much of a loss, because I can see Bruno being a longer-term player, maybe, once they finally warm up. Well, that's if they do warm up. Hopefully they do. What else? People that owned Van der Beek, yeah, they would have got some points, but to be honest, I don't think many people had Van der Beek in their team for this game week, because a lot of people were unsure whether he was going to play or not, and I think other people knew he wasn't going to play, so yeah. I think that wraps that up. Just a quick one, just give my thoughts and opinion of the match. I'm no expert, but I do feel United did perform poorly, and I don't think the team selection in certain areas was done correct either, and the actual subs made were probably not done at the right time and didn't target the correct people to take off. Like McTominay, I think I can't say his name, should have been taken off instead of playing the full game. You know, unless he was playing in a different position, a more attacking one, you know, it might have been different. Here's another one who I was thinking of, James. What is it? Is he called Daniel James, or is he James? We'll call him that. Didn't see much from him. He seemed a bit weak at times. Didn't he keep losing the ball, getting knocked down a bit? Didn't see much from him, not much confidence. You know, he's got the pace, but didn't seem to show this time around. And I think overall, just wasn't great. So we'll see how Arsenal perform next. I don't know what 2000 hours. Don't know what time it is right now. See how that game goes on. I've got Aubameyang as captain in fantasy football, so that'll be interesting to see how he does, because you know he's the saviour of my team, because he's the captain. He's the one that gets double points. So I hope he pulls something out of the bag. I'm sure he's got more chance of getting more points than Bruno Fernandes and the United team combined. So that sums up this little video. Hope you enjoyed it.